Welcome to Math with Mr. J. In this video, I'm going to go through a fraction vocabulary crash course. We'll go through everything you see on your screen. Now, this will be a quick review. It's going to be a refresher. So if you need more help or examples of anything, check the description after this video for follow-up videos on some of these topics. Let's get started. So jumping into our first words here, we have numerator, fraction bar, and denominator. These are the parts of a fraction. The numerator is the top number and represents the number of parts being considered, or we can think of it as the number of parts we are focused on. Then we have the fraction bar, which separates the numerator and denominator. Then the denominator is the bottom number and represents the total number of equal parts a whole has been divided into. And we can think down to remember denominator, so match the D's. And then if we remember what the denominator is, then we know the numerator will be the top. Now let's use the fraction 3/8 for an example here. We have the numerator, the fraction bar, and the denominator. Let's use a simple example for this fraction to take this a step further. We'll say that 3/8 of a whole pizza is left. 8, the denominator, is the total number of equal parts, or pieces, the pizza was divided into. And the numerator, 3, those are the parts, or pieces, left. That's the part of the pizza being considered, or that we are focused on. So numerator, fraction bar, denominator. Let's move on. Now let's take a look at proper fraction. These are fractions where the numerator is less than the denominator, so the top is less than the bottom. The value of a proper fraction is less than 1 whole. 1/4, 2/5, and 9/10 are all examples of proper fractions. Let's move on to improper fractions. These are fractions where the numerator is greater than or equal to the denominator. So the top is greater than or equal to the bottom. The value of an improper fraction is 1 or more. 7/3, 15/8, and 4/4 are all examples of improper fractions. Now keep in mind, 4/4 is equal to 1. Remember, if the numerator and denominator are the same, that fraction is equal to 1. Then we have mixed number. That's just a whole number and a fraction. For example, 2.5, 6 3/4, and 12 7/10. Those are all examples of mixed numbers. We have that whole number and fraction. Let's move on. Now let's take a look at equivalent fractions. Equivalent fractions are different fractions, so the numerators and denominators are different, but they represent the same value. For example, let's use a fraction that we are all familiar with, 1/2. 2/4 is equivalent. 2/4, that's still half. 10/20 is also equivalent. All of these fractions are equivalent. They may look different, but they all represent the same value. And then one more example here. 3/4 and 6/8 are equivalent fractions. Let's move on to simplest form, lowest terms, or reduced. So whenever we hear simplify a fraction, put a fraction in lowest terms, or reduce a fraction, they all mean the same thing. So something to keep in mind. I typically use simplify, but the others are common as well. Now basically, when we simplify, put a fraction in lowest terms, or reduce a fraction, we rewrite that fraction as an equivalent fraction where the numerator and denominator are the smallest whole numbers possible. The only common factor between the numerator and denominator is 1, so we cannot break the fraction down any further. Now, it's important to understand we do not change the value of a fraction when we simplify. For example, let's use something to go along with 1/2 again. Let's do 5/10. We can simplify this fraction by dividing the numerator and denominator by the common factor of 5, meaning we need to divide 5 by 5 and 10 by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1, and 10 divided by 5 is 2. The only common factor between 1 and 2 is 1. So this is now in simplest form. Another example, let me squeeze it in down here. 16/24. One way to simplify this, we have a common factor of 8 we can divide both by. So let's divide 16 by 8 and 24 by 8. 16 divided by 8 gives us 2, and 24 divided by 8 gives us 3. The only common factor between 2 and 3 is 1, so this is now simplified. 16/24 simplifies to 2/3. Moving on to common denominator and least common denominator now, let's focus on common denominator first. And a common denominator is just a shared denominator. So a shared denominator between two or more fractions. The same denominator. So for example, 1/4 and 3/4 have a common denominator of 4. Now do 2/5 and 5/8 have a common denominator? No, clearly 5 and 8 are not the same. So those two fractions do not have a common denominator as is. Now please keep in mind, when working with fractions, we may not start with a common denominator, but we can always find one. For example, when we add or subtract fractions, we need a common denominator. So we find one and then rename the fractions with that common denominator. Now, when we find common denominators, there will be an infinite amount. So it's helpful and makes things simpler to use the least common denominator. So when we hear least common denominator, or LCD for short, that just means the smallest common denominator. We will build off of this and go into more detail in other videos. For now, we just need to remember that a common denominator is a shared denominator, the same denominator. And least common denominator means the smallest common denominator out of all the possibilities. Now let's jump into like fractions. Like fractions are just fractions with the same denominator. So for example, we would say that 3/10 and 7/10 are like fractions. Unlike fractions are fractions with different denominators. So 5/6 and 1/2 are unlike fractions. So to go off of this, for example, if we hear adding fractions with like denominators, we know that we are adding fractions with the same denominator. And then if we hear adding fractions with unlike denominators, that means we are adding fractions with different denominators. Next, we have reciprocal. And to find the reciprocal, that just means to flip a fraction. So the numerator becomes the denominator, and the denominator becomes the numerator. We use reciprocals when dividing fractions. So for example here, the reciprocal of 3/4, we need to flip this fraction. So 3 is now the denominator, and 4 is now the numerator. So the reciprocal of 3/4 is 4/3. Now, any number multiplied by its reciprocal equals 1. So let's do 3/4 times its reciprocal of 4/3, just to see what this looks like. Now, when we multiply fractions, we multiply straight across. So for the numerators, 3 times 4 is 12, And then for the denominators, 4 times 3 is 12. So we end up with 12/12, which is 1. Remember, like we mentioned earlier, whenever we have the same numerator and denominator, that fraction is equal to 1. So for reciprocal, just remember, that means to flip a fraction. Let's move on. Now let's take a look at factor, common factor, and greatest common factor. We'll start with just factor. Now, factors are numbers that a given number can be divided by evenly, so no remainder. We can also think of factors as all of the numbers that go into a number evenly. For example, the factors of 6 are 1, 2, 3, and 6. We can divide 6 by all of those numbers without getting a remainder. In other words, all of those numbers go into 6 evenly. Now let's take a look at the factors of 12. The factors of 12 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. So looking at the factors of 6 and 12, let's move over to common factors now, which are just factors that numbers share. So between 6 and 12, 1 is a common factor, 2 is a common factor, 3 is a common factor, and 6 is a common factor. So again, common factors are just factors that numbers share. Then as far as the greatest common factor, that's the greatest or biggest factor in value that the numbers share. That's going to be 6 here. The greatest common factor between 6 and 12 is 6. Now you'll also hear greatest common factor called the GCF for short. We use factors, common factors, and greatest common factor when working with fractions. For example, when simplifying fractions. Let's move on to multiple, common multiple, and least common multiple. We'll start with multiple. Now, multiples are the result of multiplying a number by a whole number. And we can think of skip counting here. So for example, some multiples of 3 are 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, and these continue on forever. Multiples are infinite, so we will stop there. So we have 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times 3 is 9, so on and so forth. And we can just skip count here by 3's to get our multiples of 3. Now technically, we can multiply by any integer, which means we could include negative multiples, so -3, -6, -9, and so on. But when we list multiples, we usually just want the positive ones, so something to keep in mind. Now let's take a look at some multiples of 4. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, and so on. Now let's move on to common multiples. Those are all of the multiples that numbers share. Since multiples continue on forever, they're infinite, that means common multiples end up being infinite as well. So looking at the lists of multiples we have, do we have any common multiples? Yes. 12 is a common multiple, and 24 is a common multiple. Now, if we were to continue those lists, we will continue to find common multiples. Now, least common multiple is the least or smallest multiple in value that the numbers share. The least common multiple between 3 and 4 is 12. We use multiples, common multiples, and least common multiples when working with fractions. For example, when finding a common denominator. So there you have it. There's our fraction vocabulary crash course. I hope that helped. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, peace.